Picture this. It's early morning, the sun's just creeping through your window, and you roll out of bed feeling off. Not exhausted, exactly, but not quite yourself either. Maybe it's a subtle drag in your step, a fog in your mind, or a quiet ache you can't pinpoint. If you're a man over 50, you might have asked yourself, could my daily habits like ejaculating every day be part of this? I'm Dr. Sofia Carter, a urologist who spent years helping men just like you navigate the changes that come with aging. And today, I want to have an honest, heartfelt conversation about something most doctors shy away from: what really happens to your body, mind, and even your relationships when you ejaculate every day after 50. This isn't about judgment or rules, it's about understanding your body's signals, respecting its needs, and rediscovering a sense of vitality that makes you feel like you again. Let's walk through this together, step by step, with curiosity and care. The moment of release. A cascade of change. Imagine your body as a finely tuned orchestra. When you ejaculate, it's like the crescendo of a symphony. Everything comes alive. Your heart races, your blood pressure spikes, and your brain lights up with a rush of dopamine, that feel-good hormone that leaves you relaxed, even euphoric. It's a moment of pure release. And for many men, it's a daily ritual, whether through intimacy with a partner or a private moment alone. But here's what you might not notice: that high doesn't last. Right after that peak, your body shifts gears, dopamine dips, sometimes sharply, especially after 50, when your baseline hormone levels are naturally lower than they were in your 20s or 30s. You might feel a little sluggish, maybe even moody, like the air's been let out of your tires. For some men, this dip is barely noticeable, they bounce back quickly. But for others, especially if you're ejaculating every day, that dip can linger, leaving you feeling drained or disconnected. Take Mark, a 58-year-old patient of mine. He came to me complaining of low energy and a sense of flatness he couldn't shake. Mark was active, ate well, and thought his daily masturbation habit was harmless, a way to unwind. But he noticed that on days he skipped it, he felt sharper, more present. When we dug deeper, he realized his body was asking for a break. Not because ejaculation was bad, but because his system needed time to recharge. Why recovery matters more. After 50, your body is brilliant, but it's not a machine. Every time you ejaculate, it's not just a moment of pleasure, it's an event that involves your hormones, muscles, and even your emotions. Let's break it down. First, there's testosterone, the hormone that fuels your strength, clarity, and drive. After 50, your testosterone levels naturally decline, which is normal. But daily ejaculation can add a twist. Each release triggers a spike in prolactin, a hormone that promotes relaxation, but can also suppress testosterone if it builds up too often. For some men, this shows up as feeling off, less motivated, less focused, or even less interested in sex over time. Then there's your pelvic floor, a group of muscles that support your bladder, prostate, and rectum. These muscles work hard during ejaculation, contracting to propel semen. If they're already weakened from years of sitting or lack of targeted exercise, daily use without recovery can lead to discomfort, a dull ache, tension, or even urinary changes like a weaker stream. I've had patients mistake this for prostate issues, when really their pelvic floor was just overworked. And let's not forget your brain. Ejaculation floods your system with dopamine, oxytocin, the bonding hormone, and serotonin, which stabilizes mood. It's a beautiful cocktail, but after the high, those levels drop. For men over 50, this drop can feel more pronounced, especially if you're carrying stress, loneliness, or the weight of life's responsibilities. Ever felt a pang of sadness or emptiness after climax? That's not you being weird, it's your brain recalibrating. and daily repetition might not give it enough time to reset. Listening to your body's signals. So, does this mean you should stop ejaculating altogether? Absolutely not. This is about tuning in, not shutting down. Your body is always talking to you. And after 50, its voice gets a little louder. The key is learning to listen. Here's a simple practice I share with my patients: the post-release pause. After you ejaculate, don't rush to grab your phone or dive back into your day. Take a moment, 30 seconds. Even. Place your hand on your chest. Take a slow, deep breath and check in. How do you feel? Energized and clear? Or a little low, maybe disconnected? This small act of self-awareness can be a game changer. It helps your nervous system settle, reduces emotional dips, and reminds you that you're in charge of your body's rhythm. For example, I worked with Tom, a 62-year-old widower who used daily masturbation to cope with loneliness. He thought it was helping, but he felt more isolated afterward, like he was stuck in a loop. When he started pausing to breathe and reflect after release, he noticed his mood stabilized. Over time, he cut back to a few times a week and began taking short walks to reconnect with himself. Within a month, he told me he felt lighter, like I'm not carrying as much. Small moves, big impact. You don't need to overhaul your life to feel better. Here are a few practical ways to support your body, woven into your daily routine. 1. Move after release. Your pelvic floor works hard during ejaculation, so give it a gentle reset. Stand up, take 5 deep breaths into your belly, and do a slow hip circle or a forward bend. This helps release tension and boosts blood flow. Think of it as a cool down, like stretching after a workout. After 2 weeks of this habit, you might notice less pelvic discomfort and more physical ease. 2. Check your rhythm. There's no right frequency for ejaculation, but pay attention to how you feel over a week. If daily release leaves you sluggish or moody, try skipping a day or two. Many men find that ejaculating 2 to 4 times a week feels balanced enough to enjoy the benefits without draining their reserves. 3. Nourish your system. Testosterone and energy rely on good sleep, hydration, and nutrition. Add zinc-rich foods like pumpkin seeds or lean meats to your diet, and aim for 7 to 8 hours of sleep. These basics help your body recover faster, so you feel vibrant instead of depleted. 4. Connect beyond release. If you're in a relationship, use some of those moments for non-sexual intimacy, holding hands, talking, or sharing a laugh. If you're single, treat your body with kindness, maybe through a warm shower or a mindful stretch. These acts build emotional resilience, which matters just as much as physical health. Have you noticed how your body feels after ejaculation? Maybe a burst of energy, or maybe a dip you didn't expect. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Your experiences could help someone else feel less alone. The emotional side of intimacy. Let's talk about something deeper: how daily ejaculation affects your sense of connection. For many men, it's a private act of self-care, a way to unwind or feel alive. But sometimes, it can become a crutch, a way to avoid emotional closeness or cope with stress. If you're feeling more isolated after release, or if it's pulling you away from your partner, that's a sign to pause and reflect. I remember John, a 55-year-old married man who came to me feeling distant from his wife. He was ejaculating daily, often alone, thinking it was just a habit. But he realized it was replacing the intimacy he craved. We worked on small steps, date nights, open conversations, and mixing solo release with shared moments. Within weeks, he felt closer to his wife and more grounded in himself. If you're single, this applies too. Ejaculation isn't just physical, it's emotional. Use it as a moment to connect with yourself, not escape. Try this after release. Write down one thing you're grateful for about your body. It sounds simple, but it shifts the experience from routine to meaningful. Your prostate and pelvic health. Let's zoom in on something practical: your pelvic floor and prostate. These unsung heroes keep your urinary and sexual systems running smoothly. But they need care, especially after 50. Daily ejaculation isn't inherently harmful, but without recovery, it can strain your pelvic muscles, leading to discomfort or even urinary changes. Here's a tip: strengthen your pelvic floor with a simple exercise. Sit comfortably, take a deep breath, and gently squeeze the muscles you'd use to stop urinating midstream. Hold for 3 seconds, release, and repeat 10 times. Do this a few times a week, and within a month, you might notice better control and less tension. Pair this with post-release movement, and you're giving your body a solid foundation. Finding your balance. So, where does this leave you? There's no universal rule about how often you should ejaculate. Some men thrive on daily release, feeling energized and balanced. Others find that cutting back to a few times a week lifts their mood, sharpens their focus, and eases physical discomfort. The answer lies in your body's feedback. Tonight or tomorrow, when that moment comes, try this pause and ask, is this serving me? If you feel strong and connected, you're likely in a good rhythm. If you're feeling drained or numb, consider slowing down. This isn't about restriction, it's about respect for your body's wisdom. Over the next 2 weeks, try weaving in these small habits: pausing, moving, checking in. You might be surprised at how much clearer, stronger, and more connected you feel. Your 50s and beyond aren't about winding down. They're about living with intention, energy, and joy. Want more tips like these to thrive after 50? Subscribe for weekly insights on men's health, delivered with honesty and care. Your best years aren't behind you, they're waiting for you to step into them. Take care, and I'll see you soon.